Here's what happened to me at Sam's. My wife and I were in there doing some shopping for a few things. We don't usually go together, but we were there a couple of Saturdays ago.
It's romantic.
Who pushes?
I pushed. Okay. So we were going from one aisle to the other, and some people were looking, a guy was looking at the ketchup selection. And
how vast is it? I've never been.
Fairly. I'd say fairly vast.
Is it all Heinz, or do we have multiple brands?
They have multiple brands there.
That's one thing. Remember, Sam's is different. They have multiple brands where Costco gives you like one
choice. You get at Costco, you get Heinz.
Okay.
And that's Costco says their brilliance is that you get a choice of either the main brand or Kirkland, which is their brand, and nothing else. You know, paper towels is either Bounty or Kirkland. That's it. You get Kleenex or Kirkland, and they're sitting right because they don't want people standing there forever looking at stuff. It's like, make a decision.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what they said. They really they think people go through faster because there's only so many choices. You know, if you're here, that's it.
That's what the communists say.
Some of them only had one choice. You know, there is no Kirkland brand on a lot of stuff. You just look at it and take it. Sam's different. You'll have 3 or 4 brands. So the guy's sitting there looking at ketchups, and my wife goes through first. She has to cut in front of him because it's so crowded.
Between him and the product?
Yep, and she said, excuse me, and he didn't say anything. And then he just kind of nodded, and she said, excuse me. And I came through and didn't say anything. And he said, rude. Ooh. Yeah, to me.
He didn't know you were a set.
I said,
a pair.
I turned to him, I was like, we're set.
Excuse both of us.
Her excuse me covered me.
That's
covered over to me.
Thank you. Her excuse me, I think, covered the both of us. Now, she didn't say excuse us. She said excuse me.
Yeah.
But I think it covered both of us.
How much of a gap between the two of you?
Yeah. How far were you lurching behind?
I had the cart, but I'd
yeah,
say,
but you could
like
be.
cart length, or was there a gap?
How many cart lengths between you and your wife's backside?
1.5. I mean, cart plus a half cart. I'd say the actual cart plus a half cart. You know.
Yeah, you probably should have given out.
I think you should have at least acknowledged a mumbled excuse me.
I don't know.
Did you make eye contact with the man when you went past
Not
him?
until he said rude. Because I heard him under rude. And I just turned and stopped and said, "What?
You want to get cut?" That's how I got to handle those situations. Just go right to crazy right away.
This isn't Costco. They're weapons.
I got knives over here.
I get a knife and a gun in here.
I'll buy 2 of them.
That's right.
We're going to start making a scene. Excuse me. Is that better? I've learned that you just have to out crazy people now.
That's right. That's right.
Now, where was he? How much room was? Because I've had this happen where people stand there a ways back, almost back to the next shelf to look at what's on the shelf.
Yeah, they're 2/3 over, so they can see the whole.
You have to go between them and what they're looking at.
That was the case. I had
You couldn't go to his right.
No, there's nothing I could do about that. I had to go.
Did he have room to move so that you could go behind him?
It was pretty crowded. I mean, he might have at that moment, but there was times where he didn't. It was a Saturday, so it's packed in there. You know.
Oh yeah.
That's another thing. You know, I am feeling like, I mean, I know prices are high and people are shopping online and everything, but when I go to those stores, they are packed.
Right.
I mean, they really are. Anyhow, he said rude. I gave him stink eye and I moved on. But then it was awkward because I see him again other places.
Every other aisle.
Yeah, that's
the hard part.
Yeah, of course, you have to see him. I'm with Biggie. I think I'll go crazy on him next time around. Crocker, you're talking about Costco versus Sam's. Go ahead.
I'm just talking about Costco in general. I have a love-hate relation with that place, and what you were just talking about is the biggest part of the hate of it. It is the most aggravating place in the world with people who are, quote-unquote, browsing, blocking the aisle. My wife included drives me nuts in that place because she's like, oh, what's going on in here? How's everything? Oh, look at this and look at, I'm going to block the entire aisle while nobody can get around, including my husband who's trying to get me to move.
You're right. You're right.
Drive you nuts.
You're right. That's absolutely true with Costco, especially on those busy days.
Yeah.
You know, busy afternoons, Saturdays are really busy. He's right. Crocker is exactly right. Thank you. You get near a rotisserie chicken, or certainly a sample. Oh my God,
they're back to samples.
Oh,
is it just the Lord of the Flies all over again?
Yeah.
It really. Oh yeah.
This is what the Purge is going to look like in 3-4 years.
There's no more.
Well, the samples always remind me of like a zombie movie. The samples are somebody who's trying to distract the group. So somebody stands up and it's like, who? Over here. And then everyone's like, turkey meatballs.
I tell you.
Spinach bites I won't eat.
Right.
Do you find at every sample station someone making unnecessary conversation?
Oh, yeah. There's
I think I might try these. Where are they?
Right.
You're not going to try.
Not going to try.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what Costco will do to you, too. If you're careful, if you're not, you got to be careful of that because you'll say, I may try these. I'm going to get these. Where are they? And they'll say, right here under my
Got 'em right
table.
here.
And they put them right on the, and they'll put them in.
Let me put them in the basket for you.
And then when that happens, let's say it's turkey sausage balls that Biggie just mentioned, which are delightful. I'll go over later. I'll be over in laundry detergent. And
I don't want these turkey
there's a bunch
sausage
of turkey. I mean,
balls.
people
Because everybody
ditches them.
They've abandoned them. And they're supposed to be frozen, and they're over there in the motor oil.
Because nobody wants to shame themselves in front of the woman and say, I'm wrong.
Put 'em back.
I actually didn't want them.
I just wanted to try them.
Yeah.
I just wanted to eat them, There's a lot of people, when you offer something free, man, people
Oh, my God.
go for it.
Vultures.
I
don't care what it is. It'll be a bag of dirt. They want it.
Absolutely agree. Nikki, you're talking about shopping. The Crocker's complaint was and I do hate when somebody stops in the aisle at any store and just chats or looks for no reason. You're like, oh, God. Or when somebody's coming my way and doesn't see me or backing up and, they don't know you're there. It's like, come on. Use a little etiquette here. Nikki, go ahead.
Yeah, man, that is the world's worst thing in a grocery store or anywhere shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Tell all the dumbasses to put the buggy on the same size of damn aisle they're shopping on, and they won't clog up the aisles.
It's true. There's an etiquette there.
It's tricky, though, because if you're going up an aisle, I think human nature is like we drive.
Right.
You push your cart up the right-hand side, but sometimes
You go around.
breakfast cereals are over on the left.
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts are on the left.
That's
so what
right.
do you do?
That's
I mean, I hear what Nikki is saying, but sometimes in real-world application, it doesn't work out.
Is the proper thing to do to leave your cart right there and turn for a minute and get the cereal you want and then go back, leaving your cart in the right-hand side?
I think you have to push it all the way to the right.
I do too. Like
All
against,
the way. So
against the
to
stuff.
clear as much space.
Don't you hate it when somebody's looking at something that you want and taking a long time
Yes.
looking at it, and so you have to stand behind them?
Yes, or you just leave. I leave and come back later.
Yeah.
Make a mental note.
Right.
Take an extra lap.
Yeah, and in produce, I park my cart next to something so that it's out of everybody's way, and then I go around the produce,
Yeah.
grab it, and then put it. And I don't push my cart around. The
I like
produce.
that too because that's kind
No,
of tight
no.
weaving.
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
disagree.
You,
Oh,
you
there's
don't do
too
that.
many-
No.
Oh no, that's too much.
An abandoned cart in produce?
Yes, there's nothing in it yet. It's the
It
first
doesn't
place
matter.
you go.
Then it's worse.
Well, I'll throw something in there. There's usually a banana that I'll grab on the way, and then I go and make the rest of my way.
This will not
It's a
stand.
labyrinth. You can't.
It
You
is a
can't maneuver,
labyrinth.
and the people can't maneuver through there.
Biggie, you were on the phone. These two are really going at it over
Produce.
Dave's empty cart protocol.
produce. Biggie,
Trust me, I'm loving this segment because y'all are out here complaining about shopping while I'm tooting away in my Barbie Jeep, picking it up.
He's what?
he's tooting in his Barbie Jeep. He picks it up. They bring it out to him.
They bring it to me, and I'm gone. Y'all are, I can't believe that.
That's
Across
right.
the soup aisle.
And most of the people that I'm trying to weave around are the personal shoppers.
Well, not to
your
mention,
fault.
even if Biggie was in the store, he wouldn't be in produce.
Yeah, so he can't speak to it.
He's in his rascal.
He's wrestling.
I don't need a rascal. I'm just saying, all these complaints are why I don't deal with it.
That's why you're at home.
That's why I'm at home.
Where are the grapes? Where are the seedless grapes?
me.
These are seeded. We're seedless. There's an empty cart right here. Whose cart? Oh, it's Dave's.
You leave my empty cart alone.
Oh, and the rascal people.
Oh, don't get me started.
on that.
Usually on the
bless
cookie
him.
and chip
So
aisle.
right. Oh, so right. Tony, a comment on shopping. Go ahead.
This kind of goes out to the parking lot, but it resorts to the same thing. If you're pulling down an aisle and you can't pull in a parking space without doing a 3-point turn, you're going the wrong way.
You're not. That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
I see that sometimes too. I do. I see that a lot. You know.
Yeah, people, those angled slots, when they're angled, I don't know why people want to back into those.
I
It
know.
doesn't make sense to me.
I know. You know what I did? This is a parking thing the other day. I was coming down one way toward the Target, and another one was coming the other way from the Target, and there was one space on my left, but her right, okay? She got there first, and she was waiting for me to go on, and I hit my signal. Now, she had not put a signal. I put my signal on, and, we were kind of easing toward each other and looking at each other. And I was going to give it to her. I turned my signal off because she got there first. And then she roared past me like in anger, like, this. And I rolled my window down to say, wait, take the spot. Take the spot. And my daughter was with me, and she said, don't do that. Don't do that. So I rolled it back up. And then she parked 2 spaces away, so we had to walk in next to each other.
Huh.
It was...
That's rough.
That was a bad one. I know it was bad. But I just didn't realize she wanted it at first. I was going to give it to her.
You could have had it, you old bag. Just tell her walking in.
Rosebud, you're talking about shopping as well. Go ahead. The etiquette of it. Go ahead.
Good morning, P1 Salisbury.
Thank you, Rosebud. Yes.
Yes, sir. So much of why I get annoyed in the store is shopper behavior, but some of this behavior is created by the stores because the stores pack aisles with pallet quantities of whatcha-hoosers and doodads. For example, pickleball supplies and painful rectal itch cream that they're trying to trick you into buying.
Wind up.
Create all this confusion in the aisles.
Wind up, big time. I heard it.
That's a personal attack.
It's a personal attack.
That is personal.
Personal attack. He's talking about whizzer bumps and doodads, and then he went to pickleball and painful rectal itch. 2 things that I either endure or love.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And will be subjects of podcasts.
Correct.
Once those new studios are
I like that. I should do a PRI podcast. Speak on it for hours.
You'd be all by yourself on that one.
I'd have to be.
No, I bet you'd have more listeners than you
You'd be
ever thought. I bet it would
listeners.
shoot up the charts like nobody's business.
Nobody wants to talk to you about it.
Thank you, Rosebud.
They all have it. They just don't want to admit it, but they'll listen to you.
I have to handle it by myself. That's right.
It is true. Those special displays in the aisles do not help traffic at all when you get them.
They've taken the end cap and putting them
in the middle
of an aisle.
That's
and, with an angle,
Awful.
which is really bad.
At the holidays, it gets so crowded in there. That's tough. You're right. Flatline on shopping. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. What drives me nuts at the grocery stores, and I've never worked in one, but whenever you go to put your shopping cart up in the parking lot, there's 2 slots. Somebody will put a big shopping cart behind a small shopping cart.
Yes, I see that quite a bit.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. I'll tell you what they used to do around here too. There's a place here called Lowe's Foods. Thank you very much, Flatline. Mm-hmm. And their carts are designed. Their cart corrals are designed that you put the buggy up like in a vertical position, and you can fit a ton in there.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Yes, but nobody ever does it. Nobody ever. I did, and they had a sign that would say,
"I didn't
put your
that.
buggy
You have to
up."
lift it?
You just,
the front end comes up.
The front end comes up, and they're vertical. They used to be anyway, and they would be. I'd see them lined up, but then many people wouldn't do that. They just put them in standard, which is what everybody else does. Yeah. But I thought that's a pretty good idea to get more carts in there, but nobody ever did it ever.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, well, they had signage.
I've shopped there. I've never noticed.
I just went there the other day and didn't notice it.
They may have changed it. Maybe they fought against it for as long as they could. You know who does it right is Aldi. You have to pay $0.25 for your cart.
Take that.
Then you put the cart back where it's supposed to go in the proper place. And they don't have small carts. They just have regular size carts. And Chris Demm will tell you there's a lot of zombies in there, too.
Yes.
Sarah, you're talking about shopping. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. Nothing makes me want to scream rude more than somebody farting in the aisles and me having to walk in it.
That's different.
The classic crop dust.
That's a crop duster.
That happens.
They do come through.
Oh, yeah. Terrible.
It happens. And you know what Biggie says about that? If it's a larger person, they're always blamed.
You always blame the biggest person in the room.
That's why Biggie picks up.
Even if he didn't do it,
He's tooting in the parking lot.
Oh, man. I'll tell you.
In my own car.
In his own car. In the privacy of his own car. I accidentally passed gas yesterday on the treadmill.
Well, this is a thing with you, isn't it?
Yes, but I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be blank. And I'm trying.
Audible?
I'm trying to get not audible. At least not. I mean, not over the music. But there was.
Try to at least time it to the beat.
I did. I do. I do that.
Turn the beat around. Love to hear percussion.
You do that. But there was a woman next to me, and we're friends. And her
Not
name.
anymore.
Well, her name is Lisa, and she's very loud on the treadmill. She's like when we get into it, she'd be like, "Come on, let's go." She's one of those. Like revs it up.
Very enthusiastic.
Yeah, like let's go. Come on, finish that last one. Very much into that.
Okay.
And at one point, I inadvertently passed gas, and I myself smelled it. Oh no! I mean, I hadn't had that. I didn't think it would smell, but it did. Mm-hmm. And she went, "Oh God! Oh God!
She crab soup! Shrimp and grits!
I'm just
Low
back.
country boy!
I'm just back from the low country."
Hot tub.
I
smell hot tub.
I just couldn't make eye contact with her the rest of the time,
No.
you know. And she's always like trying to high five me and stuff, but this time she didn't. She said, I'm beside her a lot, and she eggs me on, you know. Like if I go to 8.1 on the treadmill, she go 9, go 9.
What the hell do you think you are,
Lisa?
Do you encourage Lisa back?
I'm quiet.
It's all one way.
I'm very quiet. Yeah, I don't do that. So they get you in there to try to encourage each other, you know. Sometimes, and some people really take it.
Some
to
people
heart.
thrive in that environment.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I like it when she does it. It revs me up.
Well, you love women yelling at you.
I do. And she's a woman that can really yell, and she's in great shape. And sometimes when we're done, she'll just turn to me and go, "Oh, my God, you were fabulous." And I say, I appreciate that. I always say, you really pushed me. You know?
You cleared the room yesterday.
I did. It was so terrible. And then she said, and we were at 20 minutes into a 30-minute routine just going at it, and she's like, "Oh, God, no! Oh! And the coach was like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And she's like, "I don't know.
Where's the Febreze?
Yeah.
It's something.
It was really terrible. I know. I hated that.
All eyes on you.
Do they have? You would think that a gym environment would have those automatic air fresheners because people sweat.
Yeah.
Even regardless of the farting. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, the sweat place. You're going to have some sort of air freshener.
They must, because the gym always smells fresh and clean. It smells like a crisply cleaned, kind of chemically, but also with a good aroma to it. I don't know how they do that. They clean, I guess, especially since COVID. They were clean before, but now everybody cleans everything.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, just the air.
And they have dehumidifiers and fans, and they might have an air freshener because it does smell good in there all the time. I don't know how they do that. It's pretty impressive the way they do it. Mm-hmm. There's this is about shopping as well. Sort of. A 10-year-old boy's being called a hero today. He's from Pennsylvania. Sam Green. A woman was following him from his walk home in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. So he went into a store and went over to the store clerk, and he thought this woman's up to no good because she followed him every step for about a mile, and he was walking home from school. So he ducked into a store and went to the clerk, and before the woman got into the store, and said, "Pose as my mother. This woman's following me." And she said, "Okay." So she took him by the hand and pretended to be his mother. And this woman came in, and they called 911 to see. But now I don't think they can charge the woman anything because she just followed him. Mm-hmm. Isn't that the kind of we should ask Lisa Lanier about
creeping?
That. Yeah, just for creeping. I mean, he said, "I know she's up to no good. She's followed me all the way." And then later, they did a news report on it and interviewed the clerk and the kid's father and said this kid really knew what he was doing.
He felt comfortable enough to come on in here, and he came right around the corner to where Hannah was, and he whispered in her ear.
He said, "To act like you're my mom, this lady's following me."
He just knew something was not right and did what he needed to do.
Now, they took the lady for questioning, and they wanted to have a mental health evaluation. But is there anything illegal about what she did? She followed a kid and followed him into a store, but never threatened him, anything like that. He just felt uncomfortable. Is it stalking?
Physical stalking?
For a mile or so.
I mean, it's weird.
It is weird.
He's a kid. If he's a kid and he feels unsafe, there's something to it.
Yeah. Then they wanted to take a mental evaluation. She's like, "What are you talking about?" You know, she played that game.
Of course.
Like, I don't know what you mean.
Would you have shunted the kid to the side? Pretend to be my daddy?
I don't want to
get away from me, kid. You're bothering me. I don't know what
I hate to say it, but it sounds so suspicious.
Mm-hmm. There's a woman following him.
But maybe you would tell if a 10-year-old kid is genuinely frightened.
And if a woman came in behind him, you might just say, "Okay, yeah." Hey.
But it might be his mom.
It could be. I would have to see how she. Well, what if the woman came up and said, "I'm his mother"? You know, then you're like, "Uh-oh, who's wrong?"
Now
here?
you've got confrontation.
Well, then I'd call the police and say, "Let's sort this out." You know, is this really the kid's mother? Anyway,
good luck holding him and detaining him.
They're saying the kid was a hero for doing that.
Smart kid.